What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Stefan here from App Stuff, and today we are diving deep into typed throws, a game changer for error handling in Swift, introduced with iOS 18. So let's see how we can make our error handling cleaner, safer, and more predictable. Let's go ahead and jump in. So here's what we're going to be doing in this video, guys. We are going to be adding some form validation to this input field. So if I try to hit validate with an empty input, you'll notice I get a particular error message saying the username cannot be empty. If I try to enter a username that doesn't meet the requirements that I have set up and I hit validate again, you'll notice I get a different error with a different error message. The username must be at least 3 characters. And I've also mocked up some functionality to try to use a username that could potentially already be in use, and we get a different error message corresponding to that particular type of error. And we are going to be using custom typed throws to accomplish this. And before we dive in, this video assumes you guys have a basic understanding of Swift's error handling framework with do, try, catch, and throws. But if you don't worry, we've got you covered. Check this video out here on the channel with basic error handling with do, try, catch, and throws with Swift. The link for that is in the description, and it has everything you need to get started. And if you guys want even more practice with high-level concepts in Swift fundamentals as well as Swift UI fundamentals, check out the website at stefancodes.com. We not only have a bunch of fundamental courses, we also have a bunch of pro app clones that teach you guys how to build real-world applications using Swift UI. And we also have Pro Plus app clones that teach you guys how to build production-ready, scalable mobile applications that can handle millions of users. These courses here contain industry-level secrets that I've learned from my time as an engineer at Meta that teach you guys how to build scalable, production-ready apps. So make sure you guys check that out. And if you want to become a member with us, for just $40 a month, which is less than a coffee a day, guys, you can get access to all of our pro courses and app templates. So that's thousands of dollars worth of value that you guys get for that low monthly cost. So whether you're looking to get a job, just level up your skills, or finally launch that app you've always been dreaming of getting in the App Store, make sure you guys check out everything we have available on our website to help you guys get there. So now that we've done that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into today's video with building out this awesome feature with custom typed throws. So to start things out, guys, let's get our UI built out. We are going to start by creating 3 state properties here, one for our username and one for our error message and success message. And next up, guys, I'm going to create a VStack that builds out that username field and the input validation button as well. So here, you guys can just pause the video and type this out. I'm going to create a VStack here with my potential messages for error and success. And then I'm going to have below that a button to validate my input. And we could just say print validate here and give this some padding. So that's it for our UI, pretty straightforward. Next up, guys, I want us to create our input validation error model. So we are going to use an enum to do this, and here's what it's going to look like. Pretty simple validation error. It's going to conform to the error protocol, and here's our different potential error cases: an invalid input, a missing input, and an error for what happens if our username is already in use. So, guys, then I'm going to create an extension on that to help us get back our error message. And here's what that's going to look like. We create an extension on our validation error, and it conforms to localized error, and it implements this error description property. And here are the corresponding error messages for each individual case. So that should be pretty straightforward. Like I said, if you guys are having trouble with this stuff already, go ahead and check out that video we have on the basic error handling fundamentals with do, try, catch, and throws. And the link for that is in the description. All right, guys, next up, I'm going to type this out with you guys. We are going to create a class called input validator, and it's going to have a function that validates our input. So we're going to say validate some input, which is a string, and it's going to potentially throw an error. So here is where we are going to implement our error handling logic. So first off, let's start with the case for the missing input. So basically, guys, we want to say if this input is empty, we want to throw that particular error. So I want to say guard input isn't empty, else throw validation error dot missing input. And next up, guys, I'm going to make sure that my input has at least 3 characters. So the next up is going to be guard input dot count. Oops, count is greater than 2, else throw, what's it called? validation error dot invalid input, right? And then next up, guys, to get this sort of custom already in use functionality, we could mock having some existing usernames, and that's what this will look like, or here's what that will look like. Existing usernames, and you guys can put in whatever you want there. And here is what our line of code will be to make sure that we don't do use any duplicate usernames. So guard existing usernames dot contains our input, or doesn't contain our input, else throw validation error dot already in use. Okay, so that's our input validator, guys. Pretty straightforward. Next up, we are going to create this as a component inside of our content view. So we're going to say private let validator equals that input validator. And when we go down to our button action handler, this is where we're actually going to validate our input. So I'm going to go here and implement my do catch, guys. And I'm going to say try validator dot validate. And you guys will notice that the new Xcode, like code completion, is actually pretty dope. It automatically filled that out there for me with that predictive completion. And guys, if it goes wrong, I'm going to say self.error message equal to error.localized description. And here I'll say self.success message equals validation successful. And another super dope Xcode prediction completion there. That's really awesome, right? All right, guys, so let's go ahead and test this out. So this is obviously not implementing the typed throws yet. I just wanted to start a pretty quick example off with how this looks without typed throws and the benefits that typed throws will give us. So we hit validate. That's working. So we notice that our username cannot be empty. So our input up here was empty and it threw this particular error on line 34. Next up, let's make sure it's greater than 2. If not, it should throw this particular error, which is invalid input. And you guys will notice that it gives me back the error message corresponding to that particular error. And then if I try to do the other one where I try to sign up with an existing username, let's say it's test, I will get this particular error. So that's pretty smooth and that's pretty straightforward. And let's make sure our success case works as well. Okay, so we're hitting validate there and nothing's happening. That's because if we succeed, guys, we want to make sure that we wipe out our error message. And let's try this again. So we'll go test, validate. Now we're good to go. Okay, so that's awesome. Now let's see how we can specify the exact error type in this function here, because right now this just throws any generic error, right? So what we want to do is now implement a function that throws a specific error instead of just throwing any generic error here. So I'm going to make a new function here, guys, called validate with typed throw. And it's going to have the same input, which is a string, and it's going to throw my validation error. So the syntax is virtually identical. We just get to specify the specific type of error that we want this function to throw. And guys, I'm going to copy and paste all of my error handling logic here. And one of the immediate benefits that we'll notice here is I no longer have to specify the enum type. Because Swift is smart enough to recognize that I'm only throwing validation errors, I can now just use the shorthand dot notation. So these typed throws are really going to shine in situations where we want precise error handling, guys. And this way we don't have to deal with generic errors, but we can constrain our code to only throwing specific types of errors as we see here. So let's go ahead and go back down to our button to see how we can now implement this, guys. So instead of just saying do and catch, I can now say that I want to do with a specific error type. I want to do with a throwing error type of this validation error right here. And you guys are going to notice that this no longer works. So if I try to just, we'll see here our error message is popping up. Throw an expression type of any error cannot be converted to error type validation error. So our compiler is now enforcing us to ensure that we use a function that implements this specific or throws this specific type of error. So now, guys, we are going to have to enforce validate with typed throw of our username input. And this stuff will largely be the same. This is just really nice to be able to enforce that specific type of error handling. And guys, we can go a step further here. And if I go and switch on my error, we'll wait for the compiler to say, hey, implement all of the error types. I can go here now and then perform additional actions based on the type of error that I get back, right? So my error message will still just be error equals error.localized description, but here I could potentially like do something, right? Or here I could like present an alert Or here I could fire off some particular API call, or I could just add any sort of custom implementation to my view now with being able to switch on that error type. And before, it's a little bit more difficult to do that. We would have to say catch let error as validation error, and then we would have to have an additional catch for our generic or any error type. And this just sort of shortens all of that, right? You guys will notice here we're getting this warning saying that, hey, this will always succeed, so it's pointless. So guys, that's pretty much it. That is going to do it for our typed throws. Let's just go ahead and make sure everything still works, and we're good to go, man. So like here, we're successful. So in conclusion, guys, we see that typed throws in Swift provide us with better type safety, cleaner code, and a better overall developer experience. If you're working on projects where error handling is crucial and can get very specific, start using typed throws in your code today if you have iOS 18 available to you. Let me know what you guys think of this new feature in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and share it with your fellow Swift developers. And before we end this video, guys, I want to show you what this looks like in action. This is the actual Instagram Pro Plus app. And we implement this feature for like when you add an email during your sign up process. If the email is already in use, we perform like an actual API call to reference that against our database to make sure people can't sign up with duplicate emails or usernames. So that's an example of where you can use this in real life. And something else I've been cooking up in the lab, guys, is this awesome Instagram Stories feature. I am currently in the process of adding this to Instagram Pro Plus. It's super, super clean. And I'm really excited to bring this to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks for watching this one, guys. Super excited to bring you a bunch of content this year. I made a goal to make over 150 YouTube videos, and I want to get to over 50,000 subscribers. So, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe to this video and tell your friends about me, man. And make sure you check out the website at stephancodes.com as well. So we'll see you guys later. Peace out.